Hey everybody, it's Rob coming at you from the Artistly Workshop once again. Hope everybody is doing well. I'm enjoying a beautiful spring day here in sunny Las Vegas, and I hope you're having a great day as well. Today we are going to talk about what you see on your screen right now, Toolbox for Artistly. If you were an archiver for Artistly user, then you know what we're talking about, but I'm going to show you how Toolbox is the evolution of the archiver, and it's become something of a Swiss Army knife for Artistly. So without further ado, I will jump right into it. All right, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to go to Chrome. Now this is available for any Chromium based browser for either PC or Mac. Anyways, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the Chrome Web Store and we're going to take a look and see if our product has been updated yet, which it has not. I'm going to refresh. Nope. All right. So what we still have in the Chrome Store right now is Toolbox version 2.0, which is the current interface looks like this. If you've been using it, you know you've got the archive builder here, and then down here you have the bulk load and select tools, which we were excited to add a few weeks ago. Forget all about this. It's going away. If I were you, I would even just stop working in it currently as it is, because what is coming is much better, much more user friendly, and does a lot more. And should be rolled out any time within the next couple of days, I would imagine. Last time it happened almost overnight. This is maybe a bit more complicated upgrade, so could be taking the reviewers a little bit longer to get through it. Not sure, but anyways, let's take a look. I don't have it pinned because I don't want to cause confusion with my existing installed version, so I'm going to go over here and click. And you can see that brings up a side panel, is what this is called over here on the right, and it is a persistent side panel, unlike the old version, which when you would have it up, if you clicked anywhere away from it, it would go away. Now it stays with you while you work, which is, I think, a little bit important, especially in a tool like Artistly. So the very first thing that we are going to look at the top, we're going to go top to bottom through the tools, and we are going to look at the new quick navigation tool. This tool actually came from another extension, Automated Toolbox, by John Adams, and he very generously donated that extension to us so we could use what parts of it we wanted. And so far, what we've integrated is the quick nav, although we're looking at other possibilities from that extension also. And basically what quick navigation does is it just allows you to jump instantly to any of Artistly's menu choices. All right, you got them all here alphabetical from 3D and 2D style images, which I think is actually consistent characters, and then all the way down to YouTube thumbnails. All right, and you can either scroll to find what you want, or you can search. So let's search for AI stylizer. Okay, here we go. Click it, and boom. We instantly go to the AI stylizer. You can do the same thing with community designs. I typed COMM and it filtered it to the right tool. So I'll click on community designs. And boom. There you go. So that's quick navigation, and pretty simple but pretty useful, I think. We'll go to personal designs and talk about the next section, which is the archive builder. The archive builder is kind of the heart of this tool, this extension. It really has the most robust features, and it's kind of the main draw because it allows you to capture prompts and designs either individually or in batches and save them to searchable, sortable, mergeable HTML archives of all your designs and prompts. All right, so, but it does have a couple of quirks because the way that Artistly works and is structured, so might help if I explain a couple things to you as we go. So looking at the top archive builder here, The very first thing we have is the theme, which is the same thing it's always been. We still have 10 color choices, and maybe we'll add some more for the next version just to give it a little variety. But you have 10 choices here for different colors, some light, some dark, some mild, some wild, and those are all here in the theme. Whatever you save for your theme will stay through all the rest of the process. So you don't have to worry about that. So if you want to set it right away. And then the next checkbox we have here is embed thumbnails. I would always recommend doing this because what that does is it takes a thumbnail image from your Artistly designs and embeds it into your HTML archive. If you don't do that, if you unclick this, what it's going to do is it's going to put a reference in your HTML file that points to that design on Artistly's own servers. So it'll still show up when you're online, when you're connected, because it will just automatically connect. But for some reason, if you're offline or if Artistly or you delete those images, then there'll be no reference for it to point to, so you'll just get a blank in your archives. They will be a lot smaller if you don't do this, but I always just recommend embedding the thumbnails. Even with embedded thumbnails, they're still small compressed JPEGs. You still are like a megabyte and a half or so for an archive of 32 designs. It's really not much size-wise at all. If you know Artistly, you know that your personal designs library is where everything that you've made is stored. All right. We have folders available to us, and we can add our own folders with this little plus sign. But what those folders do is they just create almost like a reference collection of your images in that folder that still only points back to your personal designs library. You're not moving anything. You're not really copying anything. All you're doing is saying, I want to take these images of this kind and collect them into a folder for easy access, but they still are present in your personal designs library and not anywhere else physically, if you get what I'm saying. The reason I'm going into all that is because we capture in batches, but we can only capture in batches from the personal designs library itself. We can't do it from any of the folders. This is just because of the way Artistly's site is structured. All your images are there. If you put them in folders, they're not missing from your personal designs and in those folders. They're still in your personal designs somewhere. You just may have to find them. All that to say that we got 32 images here in a load, in a batch. All right, so you scroll to the bottom, you see a button that says load more. You click load more and it loads 32 more. So we work in batches of 32, and the capture batch button here in the Toolbox interface will only ever capture from this personal designs library right here. Even if you're over here in consistent characters and you click capture current batch, you can see it says batch is loaded. Look, we're going to preview, jumping ahead here. It's all those images from my personal designs library. So I'm going to clear. So just remember that capture current batch is always the most recent 32 designs of your personal designs library only. Without even loading more, we still only have 32 visible. I can capture current batch. Now, if you look up here under the Archive Builder title, I call this a success message. It says captured API page 1. All right, this first page of personal designs is API page 1. If I click capture current batch again, it's going to say batches loaded 2 with a number of designs, and you're going to see captured API page 2. Okay, we still haven't even scrolled. We haven't even loaded it yet, but it's been captured. Check it out when you hit preview. We've got 64 images up here in the top left. It shows you, and you can see that my next batch is captured even though I didn't even load them. Okay, so, and you can keep doing that. just keep capturing current batches until you're done, frankly, if you wanted to do that. But maybe some of these you've already captured, some of them you've already archived or whatever, so you don't need them all. That's a way that you can capture, page by page, batch to batch. The next thing that we just added in this version, and thanks to Euros for this idea, was a way to capture batches specifically, which means API pages specifically. Okay, so we know this first batch of 32 is API page 1, and the next batch is API page 2. If I've already captured this first page, API page 1, I can start on page 2. Now, if I start on page 2 and capture one page, I'm going to have captured one batch of 32 designs, and if we preview, we'll see they're not these ones, but they're from page 2. Okay, I'm going to clear that. So this is a way that you can set your starting page and basically tell it how many pages you want to capture and get specific batches of images that you want. You could start on page 10 and capture 10 pages. Okay, then you're going to get 640 images starting with API page 10. Now, if you click load 9 times, that would bring you to API page 10, and you'd see. But thankfully, we don't have to rely on all that because thanks to Marlene, we have a preview button. So I'm going to say start at page 10 and capture 10 pages. Boom, it did it. You can see it captured API pages 10 through 19. Oh, 320 designs total. Did I say 640? I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a math guy. But we can go to preview here and see them all, okay? Everything that you've loaded. So we'll close this, but you can see now how useful this start and pages setting is, because it allows you to get specific with which pages and which batches that you're actually capturing. All right. But remember, capture batch only works in Personal Designs library. All right. The next thing that we're going to have is capture current single, which is pretty self-explanatory, but in order to use it, you have to actually click on the little eye icon when you hover over an image. And this works anywhere in Artistly, okay? This is important. Take note. Individual image or capture current single works anywhere in Artistly where you see this little eyeball icon, okay? If you click on it here and say capture current single, boom, single image captured, singles captured 1, okay? Then you close that out. You want to add this one, click on the little eyeball, capture current single, close. All right. Like I said, you can do this from anywhere on Artistly. Let's go to, well, I could just click it here. I was going to use the quick nav to go to community designs, but we can just click it here. All right. So I was suggesting to someone you could do an inspirations archive where you kind of go through and you could keep adding people's images that you like. If they make them public, that's what they're here for, right? So say I like this one, click on the eyeball. Nice thorough prompt there, and I'm going to click capture current single. You can see my total went up to 3. All right, and let's load more. And maybe you'll see some of your images in here. I'm just going to click a few just to show. All right, capture current single, load more. So if you like to scroll through and look at other people's Artistly work, you can do this. Create. Okay, that's cool. I like it. Capture current single. Here's a mushroom thing. All right, capture currency. All right, and then we'll go to preview, and we can see the images that we've captured. Say we don't like, I don't like, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm talking about the preview. We'll deal with that then. All right, close. So capture current single. Now I could change this archive name to community inspirations. Okay, click build HTML, save that file, and now I'm going to open it up. All right, here we have our community inspirations archive with the images that we captured individually. And remember that long, thorough prompt? Here it is right there. And you want to copy it, just click copy, and it's copied to your clipboard. All right, so you can see this, the tool that was used, the style, the aspect ratio, all that stuff. All right, for any design, anywhere. Let me show you also, you can mix and match. Like, all right, here's one. Let's capture this guy, capture current single. All right, and then let's go capture a couple of these. Current single, and we'll do this cup. Oh, that's cute. Capture current single. All right. Let's go to my personal design, and then let's go to some folders. Image Designer 6. Okay, I like this one. Capture single. Let's go to my maze generator. Oh, okay, I like that one. Click it. Capture single. Consistent character storybook. Hey, there's Bolt. Let's get him. Capture single. You get the idea, right? Any of your folders, any place where you see an eyeball hovering over a design, you can capture a single, and then you can see what you got here with preview. All right, that's capture single. And then obviously I've been talking about this exciting addition, this preview and remove items. What a cool thing to have. Before you even make your archive, you can preview what's going in it and say, I don't like that one. I don't like that one. Let's remove them. Close it. Now you can see there's only 4 singles captured. And when I make my archive, it will not have those. Okay, very helpful. Say if you go to personal designs, I'm going to clear everything right now. Go to personal designs, click, 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 and you just want to do a whole bunch of batches at once. Go preview, wait for them to load, check which ones I don't like these, don't like that one. You get what I'm saying. Scroll through, pick the ones you hate, you don't want them, then remove them. Look over here, it says batches loaded 8, designs 256. Remove selected and close. Now designs 250. So when I go to build my archive, there's only going to be 250 designs, and they're going to be just what I wanted. All right, because I've already pruned them here with this tool here. All right, and that covers the archive builder, which, like I said, this is the heart and soul of the toolbox right here. But another feature that everybody's been asking for that we managed to incorporate into the new version is merge archives. All right, and so this is going to be great for things like I said, like inspirations, where you want to keep a running archive of constantly updated designs or whatever from other people, from yourself, with certain projects or whatever. This is how you can do it with the merged archives. All right, I think I need to make one more. Let me put you on pause 1 second. Okay, so yeah, I only actually made the one. I'm going to clear. Only made the one archive so far, so I'm going to make just this one archive here with my first batch of personal design. So I'm going to say capture current batch, and we're going to call this merge test. I am going to change the color to candy pop, and we're going to build the HTML. You know, the nice thing about this version, also with the persistent side panel compared to the last one, we'll save that, is that you could do an archive with 3,000, 5,000 designs in it. It's going to take 10 minutes to load. Previously, with the pop-up, if you clicked on anything else, it would most likely go away. With this persistent panel, you can click, add all those batches and click away, do other work, and be productive, and then come back, and it'll pop up when it's ready. The download dialog will pop up when it's ready to go. So another real cool feature about this panel. All right, so I saved that last archive as merge test. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go down here to merge archives, and I'm going to click choose files. All right, we're going to go to my downloads, and I'm going to select both of those files that I just created. The one that's my community inspirations had about 5 designs, and then my 32 design batch. We'll say open. All right, so now it says 2 files selected. Now you can name your archive here, so I'm going to call this merge test. Okay, then click merge and download, and again the dialog pops up. Click save. Now your merged archive is downloaded. We're going to take a look at that in a second, but I just wanted to say a couple things. First of all, you cannot use this merge feature with previous versions of Archiver. If you've made 100 archives that is all your previous work in Artistly, I apologize. There's just nothing we can do with those files with this version. It is only going to work with archives made from this version and moving forward. The other thing is, I have not tested like trying to add 50 archives. Maybe you'll give it a shot. Let me know how it goes. We haven't tried outrageous numbers as far as I know with the beta testers, so I don't know what the limit is for merging archives, but someone will find out at some point, I'm sure. All right, let's open up our merged archive and take a look. I'll put you on pause. All right, here we are, and as you can see, it's in that delightful candy pop color that I had set, and we have our community designs intermixed with our personal designs, but we've got what do we have? 38 images, 32 from my batch and 6 from community designs. All right, so that is how you merge archives. Like I said, I don't know how many you can do at once, but somebody give it a shot and let me know if you break it. So now let's talk about what you can do inside of an archive. All right, I went ahead and just created an archive that was a little easier to look at than that pink so we can take a look inside the archives here. Before we look at the very last feature in the toolbox, which is the bulk load select, let's have a look inside one of the created archives and see what's new and what's different and what's cool. All right, so you can see my title up here. I called this one Merge Test 2. It tells you what's in it and what it was created with and all that cool stuff. You can still search for your prompts. You can still sort newest, oldest favorites. You can still view by style, model, tool, and you can look at small, medium, or large thumbnails. All right, cool. So what's new is in this little area right above the images here, we've got some new boxes that we want to take a look at. All right, and on the images themselves, okay, so used to have just favorite and copy prompt. Now we've got a button called hide design. So what we do is when we've gone through our archive and we decided, okay, there are some I just don't care for, we click this button, hide, and it will remove them from view, from current view. Okay, so what did I hide? 4 of them. All right, so I had 64 images. You can see now it says there are 60 images, and I can view the ones that I've hidden by clicking view hidden. I can go back to viewing all by clicking it again. All right, so there are still 64 images within this archive, but it's telling us 60 because 4 of them, basically, as far as this thing is concerned, don't exist. They've been hidden, they're gone, they're shunned. You can also undo, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Pardon me. I was going to demonstrate the undo last hidden, so I'm going to hide a few again. Let's hide, and hide. All right. Now I'm going to view hidden, and then I'm going to click on undo last hidden, and you'll see that the very last one that I clicked, hide will disappear, and so on until they're all gone. So you can undo, you can redo. Nothing's etched in stone until you click download cleaned archive. All right, so I'm going to hide those four uglies that I didn't like. Let's see, view hidden. All right, we go back to view all, and now there are some that I do like. All right, I like this one, so I'm going to say this is a favorite. Oh, I'm sorted by favorites. That's why it immediately jumped to the top. Okay, whoops. Oh, I did it again. Don't click the wrong button, people. All right, well, view favorites, view all. All right, I'm sorted by, I'm not used to this new layout. I'm sorted by favorites. I'm going to go back to newest first, okay? And let's pick a couple. That's a favorite. Favorite, favorite. That's cute with the robot. All right, whatever. Let's click view favorites. There they are. And you can obviously unfavorite. And then if you view all and view favorites again, that one will be gone. All right. So there's our hidden. We have four. Now, because I have downloaded the archive already with these hidden designs, it doesn't show as an option again. So it's not so much a bug as just a fluke. So let's go back to viewing all. Let's go back to hiding some that maybe we don't care for. And then let us view hidden. There they are. We got some favorites. And then you can see we've got 60 images, and we're going to download a cleaned archive that only has the 60 and not the 64. The good thing is when you click that, you don't clean the hidden items from your original archive. Okay, they remain hidden, but if you need them, they're there. But now you have an archive that's cleaned, and you'll see it's going to say merge test 2, but cleaned. And we're not going to have those hidden ones that we didn't like. So let me open that up. Hang on one second. All right. And so this is the merge test 2 file that's been cleaned. You can see it says 60 images, but when I view hidden, there are no hidden. When I click favorites, it remembered my favorites from the last archive, which is nice. I don't have to re-favorite things. Favorites carry over. All right, this is important. Favorites carry over between cleaned archives. Favorites do not carry over in merged archives. So if you have two archives that you've already selected favorites in, and you merge those together, the favorites will not carry over. But if you have an archive that you're cleaning and you have favorites in it, and you clean that archive, the cleaned one without the hidden ones will remember your favorites. All right. I hope that's not too confusing, but that's important to note. All right. So this is our cleaned version. I suppose in the next version, maybe we should have it say merge test 2 cleaned in the file name. I'll make a note of that and we'll add that. But it is in the file name itself, not in the archive name here in the archive, but in the actual file name, it says merge test 20 designs cleaned. Okay, so that's how you can differentiate when actually looking at the files. But we'll have to add it to where it's in the title. All right, so that is merging. And like I said, the sky's the limit as far as I know, as far as how many you can merge into one. But that will create big files, and they'll be more difficult to go through. But some people like that. So there you have it. You're welcome. Let's go back to our tool here, Toolbox for Artistly, and we're going to take a look down at the bottom. And this is a little bit of a complicated feature, so we got to kind of wrap our brains around this one, okay? So we're back in Toolbox for Artistly, and we're going to look at this bottom section here, this bottom tool called Bulk Load Select. All right, and this tool works in a couple different ways in the different parts of Artistly, so it's one that may take a moment to get your head around, but that's what I'm here for right now to help. So I'm going to do a refresh of my personal design, so we're starting fresh, okay? And we know that gives us 32 of our most recent designs that we've created in all of Artistly in our personal designs library here, okay? Now, We know what a drag it is to have to scroll and click to load more. All right. And this was added to the last version of the tool. So some of you may be familiar with it, but this is a more in-depth explanation of how it works and why it works the way it does. So you may want to hear this. So right now we have 32 designs loaded. And if I go down here to bulk load select and I say design quantity 32 and I click load, it's going to load 32 additional designs. Okay, it's not going to reload the 32 that are loaded. So when it tells us how many designs are loaded here in the success window, it's going to say 64. All right, check it out. I'm going to say 32 and click load select. Working on up to 32 designs. All right, loaded 64 total, right? We've got our original 32, we added 32, we got 64, okay? So let's refresh again. So we just got 32 showing. I'm going to clear. We got none loaded. And I'm going to say, let's do 128. 32 plus 128 is 160. So when I say load select, it's going to work on 128 designs, but it's going to have loaded 160 by the time it's done. Okay, we'll click load. All right, loaded 160 total. None selected. Okay, let's talk about the two modes that Artistly works in. Okay, number one, we're calling browse mode. And this is when you are just browsing through your designs like we're doing here. Okay, browsing. When you go to bulk mode, you click on one of these three buttons here. That puts us in bulk mode. And what bulk mode does is it adds checkboxes to every single design. All right, check it out. Bulk download, it's got the checkboxes. All right, same thing, bulk move, bulk delete. Nothing changes, right? So this is bulk mode. I'm going to refresh it. That puts us back in browse mode. Okay, loading works in browse mode. Selecting works in bulk mode. So let's load 128 from our original 32. So we're going to get 160 loaded. All right. Now you could do that again. You could click another 128 and it's going to, so then we'll have what, 288 designs loaded. All right, I'm going to do that again. Working on up to 128. And then I think we should have, like I said, I'm no mathematician, but yep, 288. Okay, so now you didn't have to scroll, you didn't have to click. You got 288 designs loaded at once in your personal designs library. All right, you want to delete them all? Go into bulk mode. Click bulk delete. Click select visible. Or if you only want to delete the first 32, let's do that first. All right, so we're going to say we went to bulk delete. So we're in bulk mode. Let's select 32 designs and click load select. Like I said, when you're in browse mode, you load. When you are in bulk mode, you select. So when I click select, it took us to the bottom, but it only selected the first 32. And you can see, because it says up here in Artistly 32 selected. All right, so it may have even loaded more. You know what? Because load select works, they work together. So actually, I just realized this, it's a little bit, we're not going to call it a bug, but we're going to say it's a feature that when you, even if you want to just select, anytime you click the load/select button, it's going to select the quantity that you've selected. It's going to actually put check marks by them, and it's also going to load that many more into the interface. Okay, so it loaded, we had 288, it loaded 32 more, but it only selected 32 of them. Now you could do the same thing. I'm going to clear selected, and we're still in bulk mode. You got to be careful, you don't want to click bulk delete inadvertently. All right, but we're still in bulk mode, and now I'm going to, we have 320 visible, right? Loaded 320. I'm going to click on this button, select visible. Check it out. Loaded 320, selected 320. Now, we didn't have to go row by row and select everything. All of 320 designs are selected. All right. Now, you should know that in bulk download mode, you can only download 100 at a time. That's the max you can get. You can go 32, 64, 96, or 100. But with bulk delete, I haven't tried it because I'm not ready to delete images yet of in this kind of quantity. So I haven't tried it. I'm imagining if I click this remove selected box here, it'll delete all 320 of those. But I'm not going to do that right now. All right, I'm going to clear selected because I don't want to get in trouble. And it does take a second because, it's artistly and it's sometimes slow. But now you can see when I cleared selected, all 320 have been cleared. All right. That is bulk load select when you're in your personal designs library. Okay. And it works 32 at a time. Like I said, if you want to go download, just click bulk download. It doesn't refresh the page, so you're still going to have 320 loaded when you click between these tools, which is nice. But I'm going to go to bulk download. I am going to say the maximum that I can download at once is 100. So I'm going to click 100. I'm going to click load select. Now keep in mind, it's going to load another 100 because this is a dual purpose button. It's going to select the first 100 from my designs, but it's also going to load another 100 designs if there are 100 more to load. All right, we'll click that. So you can see it's loading more. Well, that's all right. You can never have too many things loaded in your designs, right? Almost done. All right, yep, see, loaded 448, but selected 100. All right, so we've got 100 selected at once. We say download selected. Are you sure? Download a zip. And there you go. With little to no trouble at all, you downloaded 100 designs at once. You didn't have to click and scroll. Nice and easy. Uh-oh. Well, thanks, Artistly. Unable to download. Okay, let's try it one more time. I am going to, oh shoot. Okay, bulk download. I'm going to select, let's do 64. Remember, it's going to load 64 more, but it's only going to select the first 64. I'm trying to reinforce these points so people don't message me and go, dude, what is it doing? All right, loaded 512, selected 64. All right, so we got 64 of our first 64 selected. I am going to click download and see if it works this time. Maybe it didn't like the fact that there were 100 images, but that's their number, not mine. They give you a max of 100. Oh. So apparently Artistly is having trouble downloading zipped batches of images right now. But that's beside the point because you see how to work this now. You see how to load and select in bulk. But now we have to talk about the very last thing, and that is loading in community designs. Well, it still says it's creating zip file. Maybe it's still working on it. I don't know. But let's click the community designs. We'll go over here and see what everybody's working on. Oh, those are pretty. So bulk mode obviously does not work here. There are no bulk download, bulk delete, or bulk move buttons in community designs. But you can still load, okay? Because we know in this tool, like the other one, we have to scroll, click, scroll, click, etc. The difference, I refreshed just so we're back on the initial page. The difference between community designs and personal designs is that community designs loads in batches of 20 rather than 32. All right, so I just refreshed this page. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of 4 images instead of 8 rows of 4 images. I don't know why, but that's how they do it. So the load tool with community designs is a little bit different. It still loads batches, but the quantity becomes confusing because of how it does batches of 20 at a time. All right, I'm going to clear everything and start with a fresh refresh here, okay? So we know now that we're in community designs. We haven't clicked load yet, so we have 20 images on screen right now. Now I'm going to go to 32 and I'm going to say load select, and you're going to see what it does is because it can't load 32, it's going to load 40. All right. If I say load 64, it can't do 64, it can't do 70, it's going to round up to 80. All right. Same thing with 96, it's going to round up to 100. So when in community design, not that you necessarily care, it's just if you see this number and you're like, well, I clicked 96, why did it do 100? That's why, because it's rounding to the next nearest highest 20. Okay, if that makes sense. So let's do it just to illustrate. All right, I'm going to say let's load 32 more. We've got 20 loaded, 32 more. You'd think that would be 52, but the way it works, it's going to be 60. All right, loaded total, see it right here, 60 total. And that's what we have, 60 designs. So when you're using the load tool in community designs browse mode, all right, those are all terms that we're coming to grips with, right? Browse mode, there's no bulk mode in community designs. So we're in browse mode. When you're in browse mode, you load, but you load multiples of 20 at a time. Okay, so right now we've got 60 loaded total. I'm going to say let's do 128 more. But we know it's going to do 140 more, right? Not 128. It can't do that. It's going to go 140. So we should see a nice grand total of 200 images, right? Loaded once I click that. So we'll wait, and it goes through the motions. Cute. Let me know if you see some of your stuff in here. Comment, hey, those are my chickens, or whatever. Cool stuff. I like browsing through here. All right, so see, 200 total. We had 60 loaded, and we did 128 more, which does 140 more, and so now we have 200 images loaded. All right, I'm going to reinforce this once again. We're going to clear everything. We're back to 20. I'm going to load 128. And basically, this just is a nice way to load all these images so you don't have to click and scroll and click and scroll. And if you want to browse other people's designs, of course, you have to wait till Artistly's done loading. But now we have 160, and we can scroll at our leisure without having to click every 5 seconds. All right. Again, like I was saying, if there's stuff you like as you're going through, click it, capture single, click it, capture single, name your archive inspirations, and cute, you're set. Capture single. All right. And then, like I said, you can go preview, see exactly what's going into your archive, get rid of what you don't want, name your archive, choose your theme, build it. When you're done, merge them, clean them. I mean, what more do you want, folks? Anyways, and speaking of which, you will see a little button down here at the bottom. We've all worked on this a lot. Marlene and I have put many hours, many weeks into this tool, and want to offer it free to the community because it's helpful. And whoa, give as much or as little, or don't. We don't care. But if you click that button, it'll take you to our Buy Me a Coffee page, and you can send a little thank you if you like. Even if you don't use the tool, if you like the trainings, whatever, you can show your appreciation that way. All right. And I just want to wrap this up by saying, hopefully within the next day or two, I don't know when this is going to get launched on the Chrome store. Edge store usually takes longer, but Chrome usually goes quicker. Let's check it real quick before we go. Nope, still the old version, but we will wait anxiously. If you have this version installed, The new one, which you see here on the right, will be updated automatically. You'll get it and you can start working with it. So, all right, any questions, please drop them. Click like, click subscribe, check out our Facebook group, and have fun with Artistly. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.